10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now, the Zoom homies.
Live from the Tony Wallow Studios, it's the Ken Stout Live Show, featuring the Zoom homies, produced by LK Productions. Hello, Greg. Hello, Alex. I'm just getting started and running a little late. Yeah. See, Chris is getting ready to join us. I can still hear a little bit of your TV. You're fine. Hello, Alex. Looks good. Looks fine. That's your new laptop? Cool. Oh, Long Dog's there. I wasn't expecting to see him tonight. I got an email from him today, and I'm going to answer that just as soon as I stop streaming tonight. There's some things going on that he wasn't sure if he was going to be here or not, but it's good to see him. Hopefully things work out for him. I don't know how long I'm going to stream for tonight, and I can probably tell you I ain't going to be on the after stream Zoom very long. I am beat. I had a long day today. My mom. Come do what I do, and you'll experience it. You'll understand what I mean, how I feel. It is mentally and physically stressful. So I thought that felt funny. Yeah, I'm buttoning that button there. That's better. Whew, that's bothering me. Is Zoom muted? It actually might be.
No, it's not.
No, he was talking, Wintermute was asking about if it was Zoom over the, going out over YouTube. It should be fine now. If I could get an audio check across the board from Zoom, please.
Audio check across the board from Zoom, please.
Okay, 1, 2.
3, 4.
Yep. Tony Wallow gives
6.
us a thumbs up. BH Ringer says, hello, Walls. How things go for me today. Stressful. John Aloy Sr., good evening. He was 4th tonight. YouTube is good. Yeah, okay, so I've got to remember when I do that to make sure I turn it back on.
Harry had to put Lyle down.
I heard that. I actually read that. That's sad.
Yeah, I saw that too.
How did he say how old he was?
Actually, I don't know. I think they got him in 2011. He was a year old. I don't know.
Wow, that's a long time.
I keep thinking we'll have to do that with our oldest dog before too much longer, because he'll be, I think 11 this May.
As long as he's okay health-wise, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but if it gets to the point where you can't walk and you don't eat and you can, tell that they're clearly laboring in pain or whatever, that's probably the humane thing to do.
That's what happened with our other dog we had. He was only like 4 at the time. But his back was hurt, and my mom and dad spent a bunch of money one time getting him back surgery done, and they couldn't afford it again, so ended up having to put that one down. But immediately got another one.
And they can be expensive, that's for sure.
Yeah, they have pet insurance now.
Yeah. I don't think there's insurance for my fish. I'm going to have to look into that. So some of you may or may not know, I do have an eye appointment this coming Tuesday with the VA, believe it or not. I guess all the emails I wrote, I guess the last one finally struck a nerve or pissed somebody off or both, because I got a reply back and it said, please call this number and use this extension. And I got right through and we talked for 15, 20 minutes, and she's inclined to believe it's my blood sugar. I honestly don't know. I'm hoping it's something simple. Um, Simple to me is, if worst case scenario, cataract. Simple to me could be my eyes are just worse. Eyes get worse over time.
Yeah.
So we'll find out on Wednesday or Tuesday. Wednesday. We'll find out on Tuesday, the 21st.
This is my second prescription.
Oh, I called Windstream that day, and they're supposed to be out here the 21st to bury that line. So we got yet
The 20 what?
21st. This coming
Oh,
Tuesday.
yeah. I thought you said it was on the 20th.
That's what I thought. But when I called them back today,
Wow.
they told my mom the 20th yesterday, apparently on chat. She got on chat and typed to them. But when I called them today, they said they looked up the ticket in their system that she had put on there, and they said it was going to be the 21st. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Monday is holiday. President's
Oh,
Day.
Well,
boy.
that probably explains.
Now, I don't know what companies observe it and what ones don't. I'm taking my truck Monday to get some work done on it. So.
You can
Well,
bet.
that probably explains why it wouldn't surprise me if they observed President's Day being a nationwide.
It's a federal holiday.
Thanks for the reminder. I don't get paid till Wednesday. I mean Thursday.
Well, at least you get paid.
Yeah.
Lorna was missing 2 days off her check today, and apparently they fired the girl that was doing it. So
New job or old job?
the old job.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, I went in today and I had the check engine light come on in my truck today. Don't know why. And I had some other things that needed working on, so I went in and scheduled some work. I asked them, my warranty expires March 19th. So I decided I better go ahead and get all this stuff done. So, and then this evening, after I got back from going to the dealer, scheduling everything, I go out and I want to run to the store, and I start up and the check engine light's off now.
You scared
I
me.
have other things that I need worked on as well, so it doesn't matter. I'll just let them know what happened. They can try to check it.
It stores the codes.
Yeah. So
I heard something where companies can have employees do their own payroll.
What?
there's a new application out someplace that purports to handle some of that stuff automatically. Vacation, payroll, everything. So it's not like you're
what I
writing a
said?
check, except you're filling in all your stuff and then it is taken care of by the app.
If I have to do my own payroll, I'm going to add my hours in for doing my payroll.
Oh, that gives me a lot of ideas. Let's not go there.
Yeah, well, they sign in or they clock in and out on an app on their phone, but they're not doing their own payroll. I think part of the
I
problem
saw somebody's advertising this thing that handles all of the timekeeping and payroll stuff.
Yeah, I don't know that I would necessarily trust that, but
we use
might be better than some of the people where she's working now.
You never know.
That wouldn't be saying much.
There is still stuff going on with Kroger about they changed their system over to something.
Wasn't that in West Virginia or someplace?
Yeah, and they got people not getting paid.
we have a system. It used to be on our server at work. They finally moved it off of the server. Well, they forced us to because they updated a lot of stuff. It's called E2. It's a really cool system that runs the whole factory, the whole shop, everything. And there's only a handful of us that can clock in and out from our smartphones.
Hmm.
And that's kind of scary. Because sometimes some of these guys are not around and they're clocked in.
Of course, people are going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're gonna get. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna set it up to where only the E2 system only works on that network.
Yeah, it's like the old place when they set it up. They originally had it where you could clock in from home. Oh boy, no one's going to take advantage of that, are they? So I
People
had
are
to.
doing it.
Of course, people were doing it. I had to kind of chuckle to myself today. Go outside and there's a truck pulls up across the street and it's got a ditch witch on the back of it. I immediately thought of Alex and oh, they're burying the cable. And sure enough, that's what they're doing. It took them longer to take.
Fiber.
I didn't go ask him, Tim. I don't know. I
Hey,
watched
my
them walk
mom
up.
took
They picked up the cable. They moved it as far as the bend would allow, the flexibility in it would allow. They set it down, zipped that
Yeah,
thing through there, put it back in there, and they were done.
Today, my mom took me out to eat, and we was driving along one on the road to go to the restaurant so she could drop me off. And we drove by. I seen a bunch of guys out on the side of the road, and the first thing I thought of was, "Oh, they're burying fiber optic cable." And then my mom says,
No.
"Those are inmates."
I was
cleaning
getting ready
up
to say
trash.
those be inmates, yeah.
Those are inmates
Those-
cleaning up trash. And I'm sitting in the restaurant, and I see a Arkansas Department of Corrections bus, a school bus painted white.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ditch witches are really cool. I operated one many years ago until a hydraulic line busted and gave me 3-degree burns.
Mm.
But it takes out the old cable and puts in the new immediately. And you're the operator. Of course, you've got other people around you helping because sometimes things get tangled up. But
I can imagine.
I'll never get on top of one of those things ever again. If a hydraulic line breaks, you're done. I'm very lucky I didn't get scarred from it, but I'll never do that kind of work ever again. Burying cable lines.
Alex, you never seen a prison bus?
I have a bunch of times. When we coming back from my grandma's house the other day, I actually followed one all the way to Sheriff.
You used to see them all the time in Georgia. I don't see them out here in California.
What was the
I see
occasion
'em.
for lunch today? Just you wanted to go to lunch?
I don't see them very often. Yes, yes. I've been wanting to go to lunch, and the best restaurant we've got in town is where I went just down the road about half a mile from me here. They've got fish and ribs and pulled pork and barbecue and
Pulled pork. Yummy. You're making me hungry, Alex.
Were those fried green tomatoes you sent me a picture of?
yes, they were.
How many
Only in the
tomatoes?
South.
How many tomatoes were on that picture?
I didn't count them, but it was probably at least half a dozen.
So let's just say 6.
Half a dozen tomatoes or half a dozen slices?
Half a dozen slices.
I actually don't eat.
Half.
But they were
don't eat
thin
fried green
slices.
tomatoes.
They were thin slices. They weren't thick slices.
And one tomato then.
with the ranch.
So you sent
They
me
were
a
breaded,
picture
right,
of
and then fried?
6 fried green tomatoes. That's only going to cost you 6 minutes in the penalty box. We'll see you in an hour.
Oh man.
No, here's the deal. I needed something done today that obviously never got done. So I sent Alex a text and I asked him to do something. And I quote, "I'm busy." Okay, I know people get busy. No worries. The next thing I get is 2 pictures of food. I'm busy. That's another 6 minutes. So I'll see you in about an hour and a half. Busy my ass. Lazy. And you still haven't looked that up for me, have you?
Look what up.
That'd be no. BH Ringer dropped me a or no, Robert dropped me a link to something that might help me out on OBS and my channel. And I just I've not taken the time to look it up. I'm being lazy. You know, I thought since Alex likes to do that kind of thing, he could look it up for me. But he was just too busy eating fried green tomatoes today. Ugh.
Yeah.
Better you than me.
Well, if they were done right, that'd be pretty good.
I've
They
never
were good.
have liked fried green tomatoes. Green tomatoes. I like tomatoes, but fried green tomatoes.
They
Well, I
were
wouldn't eat
good.
them all the time. I like one once in a while.
Fresh out of the fryer.
Yeah.
Give me some deep fried squash and zucchini.
That's even worse than fried green tomatoes.
Really? I love it.
For me. I mean, I'm not a big
Yeah.
squash eater.
I've learned to like a bunch of stuff after I got older that I just wouldn't touch when I was growing up. Squash among them.
Well, I'm still not going to eat okra.
I don't
Oh,
like
gross. Those little seeds are nasty.
The whole
I don't
thing
like
is-
okra. Don't like asparagus. I don't know why.
That's another nasty thing.
Yeah,
Now,
asparagus.
my dad grew a lot of it when I was growing up, and it was fresh out of the garden, but it's just seemed awfully stringy to me.
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah.
made right. There's no question on asparagus.
Well, I mean, you see it in some kinds of fancy restaurants as part of an expensive meal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I worked in a I worked in a 4-star restaurant in my early 20s, Statuco's International Cuisine, and man, we cooked some weird stuff.
So, Jeff, when they took your order, they said, "We'd like to take your order. This is a fancy restaurant."
Yeah.
Well, I
As
never
opposed
ordered it
to
Italian
welcome to Denny's.
Ken, you ever had corn on cob grilled?
Yummy.
All the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, I like. Well, I used to like that. That's another food I can't eat a lot of because of the sugars. Tim, check your email.
Oh, I got
Sure, go ahead, share your screen, Alex. Thanks for asking.
I figured you may want to see that. That's the job description that the guy that called me yesterday. That's the job description.
All right.
What's it do? Break it down into areas?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just explaining all of what they do. I'm hoping if I get this job, it'll be, or if he lets me, or if they're interested in giving me a trial period, that I'll be able to do it'll be like half in person and half like remote or whatever. Or like I can do like the trial period remote and then come in later or whatever. I'm hoping he at least calls me back if nothing else, because he said he was going to regardless.
Well, if he called you, I would sort of expect him to be courteous enough to at least call back.
Keep going down. I want to read the requirements.
He did. He called me to begin with and said after I talked to him for 30 minutes, he said, "I'll call you back."
All right.
Didn't say anything about Mac so far. 7:30 to 6.
What does it say that? I didn't see that. It said, I see
Under
where it said 8 to
requirements.
5.
Says availability to work during 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift.
Yep.
Ability to confidently and competently complete tasks with deadlines. Ability to work after hours and weekends, although it's infrequent and you are compensated. And
I'll have to read over that link later, Ken. That's a lot of info.
Yeah.
Hey, it mentions Windows 7 through 11. Why on 7?
Oh, no.
Maybe just because-
You're misunderstanding that, Chris. That's not Windows 7-11. It says you will work at 7-11.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, you're gonna serve
No.
you're gonna serve big gulps at 7-Eleven.
And they're
No,
not.
Alan, go back full screen. Did you do it on full screen or did I do that?
Uh-oh. Sounds like
I
we have
think
a
it's
bit
me,
of...
Ken. I touched my screen. I forgot it's touch screen.
Oh, your laptop's touchscreen?
Yeah.
Nice.
I saw for some reason it went small.
Once you touch
There
it,
it
it's
goes.
broken.
I got it.
Bobby
Okay,
Warren
it
says
says-
hi. Hi, Bobby.
Strong knowledge of Windows 7 through 11, MS Office Suite, and Office 365.
Well, that's easy.
Yes.
They probably just hadn't took 7 out yet.
Or they have some old systems that are isolated that may need to run
They
70.
probably haven't updated their verbiage yet.
Yeah.
Or either they just offline.
That's
Well, all I know is this guy seems very interested in knowing my knowledge, my skills, and all of that. Or he wanted to stay on the phone with me for half an hour.
Yeah, I touched this. I'm gonna probably disable the touch screen in the device.
I'm glad I disabled my touch screen when I replaced it.
I got one laptop that's got the touch screen, but
Yeah, I wanted
never
the
have. I never have interacted with it.
Yeah, the laptop I got, that I still got, it has a touch screen, and I thought I wanted a touch screen when I got it, because it came with it came with original Windows 8, not 8.1, original 8. And so I thought I would use the touch screen, but I never did. I'm just too accustomed to using a mouse and keyboard.
That's the experience that I've always had. Is even though it's a touchscreen, you forget that it's a touchscreen. You just naturally use the mouse and Windows, and
Or I've seen Doug did a video one day of setting up a laptop for his brother or something, and it was like he forgot that it wasn't a touch screen. The opposite, because some people have mostly been using smartphones and tablets, and so they forget that it's not a touch screen.
Yeah, my tablet died, and I really want to replace it. But you know what? I don't miss it.
I can't even tell you where ours is at. I think it's on a bookshelf in the bookcase. I think. Bobby Warren said he had to deal with his mom and dad's router today. Had to reboot it.
Yeah. The only thing I do miss about my tablet's the bigger screen versus the smartphone.
Anybody here ever had a Kindle?
My grandma has.
I'm not sure where it is.
One.
My wife had a Kindle Paperwhite. Actually had pretty good resolution on it, but getting stuff down to it was not as simple as I would have liked.
Did you say paperweight?
Paperwhite.
Oh, okay.
That described the screen. Well, it sort of ended up being a paperweight.
My grandma has two of them. She's got like one of the original ones that are black and white. It's not what Jeff.
Well, this was
not
black and white, but I mean, it was a special black and white that was supposed to make the text easy to see on it.
Well, this one that I'm talking about, that mine has, it's like the original black and white. I don't know I forget what they call it, but it's like a black and white so that you can like see it. It's not an LED screen, so you can like see it
Right.
when you're sitting in the sunlight.
Yeah.
And then she got a Kindle Fire so that she can look at Facebook and do solitaire, but that's literally all she uses it for.
And this one, even in library books, we could borrow Kindle books from the library here, but you had to go to the library account and select the one you wanted, and then you had to get it through Amazon.
Oh man, what a nightmare!
So you had to have an Amazon account, and when it was all working right, you could go from the library through Amazon and download onto the Kindle. But it turned out to be a pain in the neck.
Our college has that. After I graduated, they started that, where they're offering audio books and ebooks and whatever. But they're not doing it. They're not doing it through Amazon, so it's a little bit easier. They have there's a separate library app that you download called Libby, I think. You can log into your school account through
Well, they're
that.
probably serving everything from the
And-
school server. What the library here was doing, they had some type of agreement, apparently, with Amazon to get 1 or 2 or however many copies per branch, per library branch of certain Kindle books.
Our my
And
high
so
school.
they were actually loaning them out through Amazon, which I thought that was sort of a pain in the ass.
My high school used to have Kindles, and my high school used to have Kindles and these little audio books. They're like MP3 players, but they're like got the audio book on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're lanyards that you wear around your neck with the device attached to it, and you just plug in your headphones, and it's just like an MP3 player.
Wow, you guys are lucky, Alex.
I don't see the
My first typing class was with a computer, but everything before that was a mechanical typewriter.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've
type on an old mechanical one.
I've never used a typewriter at all.
Oh, you got to push on them keys real hard because it wasn't powered by electricity or anything. You had to
I've used
push
the
on them.
original. I had my aunt who taught high school got a lighter typewriter to carry around with her when she got old, and she gave me her original one. My dad had it reconditioned, and he bought a book that showed how to do it and said, "Here, go learn to type." And it didn't have any letters on the keys, so you had to learn to touch type.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's crazy. And not only that, the ribbons were a pain in the butt because you had to have a red and black.
Yeah, they'd had half and half ribbons that you could get sometime.
And you couldn't correct if you typed something wrong. You had to rip the page out and throw it away and start over.
Well, couldn't when I worked for a while as a clerk in the Army, and we had to do what was called the morning report. It's Department of the Army Form Number 1, which tells you how long it's been around. I'm sure that's all automated now. But if somebody went AWOL, we had to type up this report, 20 copies.
Oh gosh.
And you had an original
Are you
of 9
kidding me?
carbons, an original of 9 carbons done on a mechanical typewriter, and it had to be an exact copy of what the entry had been in the morning report, mistakes and all.
Wow. Carbon copies.
And if you made a mistake typing it, you ripped out all 10 copies and threw it away. So you had to type it twice because you couldn't get 20 copies in the damn typewriter.
Yeah, back in those days, the copiers, there weren't Xeroxes, there were mechanical copiers too.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And it was a big old tumbler. It was noisy as hell. I remember that.
Trying to think what they were called, but I used to type the bulletin for the church when I was in high school.
Mimeograph.
Yeah.
Well, you had
Yeah.
mimeograph
Thank you.
machines, and that was the ones where the thing came out purple, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Some of them were purple, I think.
But the one we had, it was almost like a flexible sheet of paper with wax on both sides, and you would type it without the ribbon on the typewriter, and the edges of the keys would cut holes in the stencil.
Oh, wow.
And then you wrap that around a drum, and you had real thick, heavy ink that would soak through the drum and end up on the bulletin on the page.
Yeah, when a drum starts to roll, the centrifugal force forces the ink to the paper, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember seeing those. That's a way long time ago. Wow.
It sounds funny. The drum starts to roll, a drum roll.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Drum roll, people.
We used to
I
call
wonder
it
if that's where it
purple
come
pit.
from. The purple pit.
Yeah. Because you have
But
purple,
then, but that wasn't called
purple
the
ink all
mimeograph.
over
That
your
was called
hands, your
something else.
face,
Yep.
your uniform.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but Stella Stevens passed away.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Stella Stevens.
Oh,
Who was in the
Wow.
Nutty Professor?
Yep, the Nutty
well,
Professor.
okay. The mimeograph is the one where the ink comes through. What's the other one called then?
I don't know.
Stencil machine.
I was a little kid, but I remember seeing those
Well,
big
the one I
machines.
was speaking of here, Wikipedia anyway, says that the one I'm talking about where you cut the hole in the stencil is a mimeograph.
Yeah.
The other
Those,
one,
those things were noisy as heck too.
yeah, I
It,
don't
it's
remember now.
it scared me as a kid. That's how I remember it. First time I saw one, I had to go to the principal's office. The elementary school had it. What the heck is that big animal? It was scary looking. It had this big old drum on it, and it was just bah, 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 bah,
Well, to
and
show
just
you how
shooting
things
out
work,
newsletters for the whole school secretary staff, I guess.
yeah. The Second World War, my dad got drafted, and he was the oldest age you could be drafted at. And he had been a school teacher and a principal.
What the heck,
Anyway, and they
Jim?
sent him to medical technician school. He learned to give shots and do all the other kind of crazy crap. And after the first assignment, he ended up at the Presidio Hospital in San Francisco. And he did the normal medical tech stuff there a while. And then they found out he'd been a school teacher, and they said, "Do you know how to run a mimeograph machine?" Yeah. And he spent the rest of the war cutting orders for all the guys leaving the hospital. So typical in the military, you never know what you're going to end up doing. I was trained as infantry, and I got to my assignment, and somehow the executive officer found out that I had a college degree. He said, "Do you know how to type?" And I said, "Yeah." And then from that point on, I was a clerk the rest of the time I was in the Army.
Yeah. All right, Jim.
So just, hey, Jim,
I see you
how's
still
the new
have
build working?
build there.
Still, it's in front
Yeah,
of me.
I tried the different cooler. It basically didn't really make any difference. So now,
Are you streaming from that machine?
no.
Oh,
No,
I had to ask.
no, not yet.
Not yet.
I figured it was
Did it
getting
run a little
serious. You
hot?
got the yardstick out, so looks like you're getting mean about fixing it.
That's
No,
a really
I-
cool
I'm
machine.
I'm experimenting with undervolting on the CPU to see if I can at least tame the temperatures down. And I've been playing around with it, just tweaking it here and there.
Let me ask you a dumb question. If you got everything put together in the case all sealed up, so you're sucking more air like through the case, is that helping any to cool things or?
No,
Okay.
So undervolting is exactly what it says. You're restricting the voltage going to the CPU.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And it seems that seems to have got the temperatures under control, and it wasn't much of an undervolt to get that to happen, which I was a little surprised at.
What's the normal volt for CPU? 12?
Well, no. The
10,
actual CPU
9,
voltage by
8.
default on this thing, the motherboard sets it at 1.25
Okay.
volts,
Okay, so,
and then it will adjust it
all right.
depending on demand and whatnot. But I have gotten it to the point where
Or by megahertz or whatever in the different cores.
well,
I had to ask.
yeah, I know.
Ken must be going senile because the intro just played again.
You must be not observing very much because I played something before that.
Anyway,
So it's going to be one-liners back and
I
forth. Go
wasn't.
ahead, Jim. Hold on. Let me solve the problem with the one that keeps giving us a hard time here. Let me throw him into the penalty box. See, we had 6 dozen tomatoes. I'm busy. So that's about an hour.
Didn't look enough.
And I've got 24 cores and I don't know what they're doing.
yeah, really. But no, the undervolt wasn't much. I'm not. So first of all, I've never undervolted or done overclocking stuff because I just, as a general rule, I don't believe in it. Leave the system.
I don't like it neither.
Leave the system as it is and let it do its thing is essentially my motto. But in this particular case, I wanted to see if I could get it to stay under 95. And it apparently didn't take much undervolting to get that to happen.
Talking
95
yeah.
and what?
95 degrees C.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I have two statements, and I need the first. I have to preface it with the question: is there something wrong with the way I think? Because when you said undervolt, the first thing that came to my mind was do 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 do. There's no need to fear. Undervolt is here. The second thing that
And-
came to my mind
Yeah.
was you said you were trying to get it under 95, and immediately went to a song that says "I can't drive 55." Is there something wrong with me?
No.
Yes.
Well, we weren't going to say
Now
anything.
that was the appropriate time to not think about it and say no. Yes, thank you very much. That'll
No,
end tonight's
but-
stream. Thank you very much. See you guys on Thursday.
Yeah.
Can we play that song though?
Well, maybe
I'd
off stream.
probably catch a strike on it. Wintermute says in big bold letters, yes.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. But like I said, it apparently doesn't take much. The only thing, and again, I've never really done this before, so I'm winging it. But apparently, if you want to preset or slightly undervolt the CPU, you also have to put in what do you want the CPU to run at.
Oh,
At least on this ASRock board, that's what I'm seeing. Maybe I'm completely
Is
wrong.
that
And
a
I'm missing
BIOS
something.
thing you're doing?
Pardon me?
You doing this in the BIOS?
Yes. You have to set if you're going to play with the CPU voltage, apparently you have to set a manual overclock.
Yeah, I found an article on this, and they were talking about setting it up through quote software.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, to get to the point, apparently the max boost on the 7700X is 5.4 gigahertz. So that's what I set it for.
how many megahertz?
5.4.
Oh, wow.
That's its max boost, at least as it's written on the box. So I set it for 5.4, and I undervolted it by 25 millivolts, which is like almost next to nothing.
How did it perform after that?
Well, I'm running it right now on the original cooler that I put in the system, and it looks like I'm running at about 82.5 C.
That's not too bad.
So, and it's running at 5.385, 5.388. It's as close to 4 as it's going to.
So are you running a stress test on it now?
Yes.
Yeah, basically that's what he's doing. But I'm not an expert on computer building, but what he's saying is it's a nice system.
So I mean, it wasn't much of an undervolt.
Yeah, if it never any hotter than that under your stress test, then it ought to be fine regular use, right?
Well, it quite frankly, Jeff, it would probably be fine if I had left it alone in the first place, because under normal use, it's never going to get stressed like this.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And as soon as I end the stress test, even with the cooler that I put on this thing, the temperatures drop within like 15 seconds. It drops 20 C. Mm-hmm. So it's not like the cooler can't handle the CPU. It just can't handle it when you're hammering the piss out of it.
Okay.
Well, you even said that in your video of the build.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Perfect sense.
So, I mean, I'm under normal circumstances, I'm not concerned. But it's interesting to note that I didn't have to change the CPU voltage by a whole hell of a lot to keep it under 90 C.
Yeah, but you're using a different type processor too.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
You're not using Intel, you're using something else, right?
Right, I'm using AMD.
AMD, okay.
Yeah, but in Intel, the same thing. You can undervolt it and try to tame temperatures, especially on like a 13900K.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, even with a liquid cooler, you have a hard time keeping it from throttling. And if you undervolt it slightly, it doesn't generate as much heat.
Yeah.
True. But you haven't put a video card in there yet.
No, I haven't put a video card in, and the video card's probably not going to go in it for a little bit yet. I want to run a few more tests with it. The cooler that I wanted to use on the other cooler, I put it on here. I had to make some modifications to it to get it to fit. Because the interesting part about at least the AM5 boards is whatever cooler you decide you want to use with the AM5 socket, it has to use the existing backplate. You cannot remove the backplate.
That's interesting.
Yeah, if you try to remove the back plate, there are 4 screws that hold the back plate on. Those 4 screws also hold the hold down mechanism for the CPU itself, the little lever and whatever the hell. So the whole thing will come apart.
Yeah, you probably already answered my question, but when you put the cooler on, there was no springs, and the back plate acts as a spring, right?
No, the backplate doesn't act as a spring, but the cooler that I put on, the 2 brackets that it uses, okay, when you tighten them down, what they're counting on is as you tighten those down, you'll bend them slightly. And that's what's applying the pressure.
That's what I thought.
So, yeah, I mean, I may just revert this back to the way it's supposed to be, and I'm honestly, I'm not going to worry about it. But it was interesting to me that I had to make very little voltage change to the CPU to get it to stay under 90. I mean, it was 25
90C.
Yeah,
that's really not bad.
Well, it's running. Let me see here. Hang on a second. Let me look. It is
maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's hit. I got to look at this. I can't see it too well. Hang on. The hottest temperature anything's gotten right now is 83.8 C. And it's been running the test for about 8 minutes. So
nice.
Like I said, I mean, I could just put it back the way it was, straight out of the box, which is what I normally do with them. I don't. Prime 95 and Cinebench are extreme tests, period. They just are.
Exactly. But who's going to run it? A machine like that?
No,
unless I'm a photojournalist.
Well, if you're doing video editing,
editing, and I'm rendering stuff, and I gotta have that video within 2 hours. Yeah, I'm gonna stress the hell out of it. But I believe it will survive it.
Well, it'll survive it. That's not the issue. Did you get all these people who are so worried about, well,
there's a lot of things out there on the internet that's overkill in my eyes.
Mine too.
The only time I've seen a computer shut down is because the damn fan quit working. It actually shuts down. The sensor, the temperature sensor says, "Hey, I'm hot. Bye."
Yeah, I'm taking my ball. I'm going home.
Yeah, really.
What the hell? And I'm like, what happened? And it took me like 2 months to figure the damn thing out. Of course, that was 20 years ago. I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. What did I do wrong? Well, come to find out, I guess dust or whatever, or carpet cleaning or something. It was laid on the carpet sideways or something happened. It sucked all this crap in there and just froze up the fan.
Oh, wow.
Let me.
They will shut down by themselves.
They're designed to do that, though, right?
Yes, they are. That's exactly
they
right.
are.
They're designed to do that.
They shut down. One of my clients. Hey, my laptop keeps shutting off. Well, let me look at it. I popped the thing open. Of course, they got a dog and a cat. Well, it's like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Your heat sink fan is full of dog hair.
Right. Exactly.
Clean it out. Put it back together. It works. It works just great.
Let me go.
I could charge them a bunch of money for that little.
There's the stress test running right now.
Oh, nice. Oh, you use the same stuff I do. Cool. I like CPU, HR, whatever monitor.
So it's running the stress test right now. It's running almost at 5.4 gigahertz because I have it locked to that frequency. Now, when I originally did the undervolt, I undervolted it like 100 millivolts, and the test didn't even last 5 minutes, and the machine rebooted itself. So,
Oh wow.
so
A
I was
question,
apparently
Jim.
starving it for voltage. So I had to go back in and then start screwing around with it. Well, let's see. If I changed it to 50 millivolts, okay, 50 millivolts, it was stable. And it wasn't getting much above about 75 C. And then I said, well, let me push this a little bit. I changed it, only 25 millivolts of a voltage drop. It seems to be reasonably stable. It's not getting near 90 C. So
Nice.
and it's running at 5.4 essentially.
Well, it looks like a good build. I have a question. How do you lock it?
It's
At
locked in the
whatever.
BIOS.
Oh, you do it in the BIOS. Never
Oh
mind.
yeah, I do it on
That was a dumb question. I had to ask.
No, I do it in the BIOS. I don't bother with trying to do software crap.
Yeah,
Once
So
again,
software crap will just take you around the world and back, and you still can't figure it out.
well, it's not just that, but the amount of software you put on the system is that much more.
It's more garbage.
More garbage, and things go wrong. So
see, I've matured because when you said, how do you lock it? It was all I could do to not say with a key, but I didn't say that.
okay, whatever.
It can be locked, but like he said, that's a nice looking machine.
You can also lock it with BitLocker.
Oh, very
Let's
funny.
not go there.
Very
And with
funny.
your
Let's not
fingerprint,
go there.
and with your fingerprint, and with a password or a PIN number.
BitLocker's not a good thing.
Let's put it this way: the average person should never use BitLocker.
If you're an average person, no. If you're a business, yes.
What if you're an average person running a business?
What if you're an average person that's trying to run a business and don't know what you're doing? That's the question.
Well, yeah, there's that
Good
too.
point.
Then you hire people like Doug Betts or whoever.
Or Carrie.
People like this company that I'm trying to work for that does all of the
BitLocker,
small
what's
business
that? I've never heard of it.
IT.
Oops.
For the average consumer, BitLocker is a disaster waiting to happen.
Thank you.
So I'm not sure if Jim said it or Tim said it, but my client called me today. He's back from India, and he said he will call me next week, which is going to make things real interesting. I'm just going to have to play that by ear. My sister wasn't real happy when I told her that I have an appointment on Tuesday for my eyes, and I'm like, my vision's kind of important here. So we will see. It was good to hear from him. Said he had a good vacation and he's ready to get back to work. I said, so am I.
Hey, Sean.
Hi,
Hey,
Sean.
sorry, I was updating my BIOS. Took forever.
Are you using BitLocker?
No,
Your BIOS or the computer BIOS?
the computer BIOS.
I think my BIOS needs updating some days.
And BIOS stands
It's
for
a-
Basic In-Out Services.
Basic input-output system. or
Oh,
something
okay.
like that.
That
Yes.
can explain why it didn't work on my refrigerator. I was putting things in and taking things out.
It's never happened, but I'm always afraid that when after watching all those Curry videos and whatever, I'm always afraid that offending that I'll lose power or something will happen during a BIOS update, even if it's sunny outside and it's not storming or anything.
You
Get
worry
an
about too
uninterruptible
much.
power supply.
You
To
worry-
be honest, I've probably updated my BIOS on all these damn computers maybe one time. And that's it.
Well, I gotta be
I have no
the
problem, so why fix something that's not broken?
Because it
I
depends
remember-
on what they're updating in the BIOS. Security, system improvement, RAM that you may have bought.
Who knows? I
I got
kind of
your-
like.
Hey,
I
wait a
kind of
minute.
like. I really like Jim's build. That motherboard reached out and updated stuff. That was really cool.
First time I updated a BIOS was like 1999. It was with a floppy disk.
I can beat
Oh
that,
my
Chris. I
gosh.
think the first time I
Was that
updated a BIOS was
5.3 or something?
back in 1937, I believe.
1.5 inch floppy. It's a
Um,
standard floppy, whatever that is. Yeah,
3.5.
yeah, 3.5. That's what I meant.
I'm still interested. What motherboard is that, Jim?
It is an ASRock B650. The actual name of it is Live Mixer.
It reached out and updated itself.
Wasn't an update.
It didn't
reached out
update.
and loaded drivers.
Updating and got the newest drivers. That's really cool. I saw that in your build video. That was like, wow. I've never seen a motherboard do that before on a new build. That's kind of cool.
It's about the same principle as Windows Update.
Yeah, very similar. Exactly.
So
That's just
when you
wired
did your
into the
update,
BIOS?
Well, I don't even think he had Windows on it yet. He was just booting it to BIOS.
No, it was Windows.
Oh, it
So-
was?
Guys, yeah, it was.
when you did the update, did you use Chat GPT and ask it to update?
Oh, the 5-year-old?
No. It's just a family friendly channel, so I will not.
For about
tell you-
another 10 minutes or so, give or take.
Well, then in another 10 minutes or so, I'll tell you what.
I don't know, though. I'm thinking lately we might want to get salty here and see if we can get 3 or 4 more subscribers out of the deal.
Somebody named Shea Bear 1000 just subscribed to my channel. I got an email saying that Shea Bear 1000 subscribed to my channel.
IBH.
Oh, it's probably just another one of your email accounts
Yeah,
that you
he subscribed to his
created
own
and-
channel.
And you don't want to. You just
Here's
don't want to
smart
admit it.
ass.
You just
can't-
don't want to
You
admit
can't
it that
put him
nobody
in the
wants-
waiting room, Sean. Only I can do
No,
that.
but I sent a link to him there. Look at that link, smart ass.
Okay. All right, we're up to 86.5C.
So, what should it run at normally?
Well,
comfortably.
Now, see, here's the thing with that. According to AMD, the CPU can run at 95C. It's designed to do that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as long as it's not throttling, you're fine. So when I did the stress test on the live video, it was running at 5.2, which I consider the difference between 5.2 and 5.4 not that freaking important. Plus, on the box it says boost up to 5.4. It's not, didn't say it was guaranteed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time I was running the stress test, it didn't drop below 5.2.
Oh, wow. Really?
So it wasn't throttling. It wasn't like it was going down to 4,500 or whatever. It wasn't throttling. AMD says it's designed, it can run at 95C. As long as it's not throttling, your thermal solution is fine. Is that true? Based on my cursory examination, it seems to be true. But why would I want to run the thing at 95C if I don't have to?
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I've
If
managed.
you ran
plus
it at
I've-
95C the whole time, it would shorten the life a little bit.
Yeah.
'Cause if you're running it that hot, you're going to get some drift in the materials that are used to dope the semiconductors.
Yeah.
Eventually.
True.
Yeah, eventually. But
How much it's going to shorten it, I have no idea
Ooh,
because I'm not
did
a
this?
materials guy.
Holy crap.
Well,
I'm
if
a
you see
Uh-oh.
smoke coming out of the back of the fan, you got problems.
Yeah, really. Oh my
No,
God.
but would you say it's probably going to run normally around 50 to 60?
It should.
Something caught his attention,
That's
and
what
he
I
got
would
a,
think.
oh my gosh, something else out of that.
Yeah. It actually, according to HW Monitor, apparently at some point I hit 5.5 on the cores.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. It peaked at 5.5.
Did it back down?
Yeah, it came back down. It's still hovering around 5.39 roughly, so it's close enough to 5.
Man, look at
Hey,
all that
we're not
RGB. Is
a
that the
rough.
motherboard?
When we give tech specs here, we're not a roughly. We are specific and precise. It's not. It's a 3-point roughly. It's either 3-point, and that's it, or it's 3.85795263125.
8675309.
Yeah, there you
Anyway,
go.
8675330. Yeah, I got Jenny's number.
What was the CPU again? 7700X?
Jim
it's a 7700X. Correct.
now all those RGB lights, is that from the RAM or the motherboard?
That's from the fans, which are being controlled by the motherboard.
I see that, but when I look through these little tiny holes, is that the RAM and stuff lighting up?
No, there is no. RAM is not RGB at all.
Oh, so that's a reflection from the fan.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go ahead and
that's a really cool reflection. So that would look good in that case.
Give some shout outs here. Tony Waddle was first, Speech Ringer second, Greg Guy was third again. Dunaway Sr. was fourth, William Dawson was fifth, Long Dog made it in, good to see him. Winter Meat was there. Tim Soul made a comment. Rick Lakes was there. Probably going to miss somebody. Bobby Warren was briefly with us. I believe that's everybody. This is going to end here quickly. This is my laugh in, and it's done. I'll show it one more time, only because I'm getting ideas as it plays.
It's not playing on YouTube. Oh, there it is.
You're right.
Good night, everybody.
It's not playing
There
on
it is.
YouTube.
It came in. It's just a little delayed.
There it goes. A little bit late. Good golly.
See you all tomorrow on YouTube.
Let's see if I can time this to when it goes out. If I can.
My YouTube's black, so.
Yeah, give it a second.
It was mine.
Yeah, well, it took it a minute to go back. Now, let me know. Winter Meat, let me know when Jim's showing back up.
There it goes. Right now.
Yeah, that's terrible. Uh-oh. It's the Doug Bett syndrome.
Oh, come on now.
Slowing down. I'm just making fun of the fact he's got a horrible upload speed, Tim.
Man, he's having a hard time. What the heck? Jim, you need to put a zero. You need to put,
if he's got Comcast, that almost says it right there.
Well, that's what I have. Come on now.
That's what Bobby Warren was saying. His parents have Comcast, and he had issues with them today. So,
it must be issues across the board, but it's flaky. It's in different areas.
Yeah,
very flaky. Jim, you gotta put a 01 inside there somewhere.
Greg, who is
a 01 binary 01 decal, and name it the General Lee build.